The answer is yes, they do. You don't have to watch a whole video of me explaining the math and showing you spreadsheets and seeing how things work. Um, you can, right? It's here, but Omicrons do drop from Cantina, and I'm just, oh, man, give CG all the crap you want, right? Capital grains. It's like a farming company from the 1800s. Capital Gains deserves our criticism of so many things, right? And those are the things that I want to focus on when we talk about criticizing EA and Capital Gains. But the conspiracy theories like, oh, well, Omicrons, they never drop from Cantina. They don't exist. It's bullshit, right? And I'll show you here now if you really need to see it. I spend a lot of time on Reddit. I spend a lot of time on Discord. I see it all the time. People saying things like, oh, I've been playing for 10 years and I've only gotten 4 Omicron drops. First of all, Omicrons were announced in, I believe it was October of 2021. So they've only been around for 3 years, right? So saying something like I've been playing for 10 years is already disingenuous and makes people believe something that isn't true. But typically the people that say things like that, either one, they don't refresh Cantina at all, in which case what they're saying is still wrong, and we'll get to that as well. Or during that time, they took significant breaks, or they don't play daily, or they're just not paying attention, right? I pay attention. I have the data, okay? And I'll just kind of very, very, very briefly show you first. I have been tracking Omicron data since about 4 or 5 months after they were released. And I have quite a few people who have helped me track it as well. And you'll notice that some of these sheets look a little bit different because not everybody here is tracking Omicrons. The other thing that's being tracked on the sheet is endgame farms, right? And trying to figure out if CG throttles our shards as we get closer to the end of the farm. And spoiler alert, they don't. But that's a whole different video, and I've actually talked about that before. So we're not going to get into that today. So, let's move that around. There we go. There's my spoiler for later. Cantina Omicron drops. Let's just for funsies see what happens here. What do I need? I think I have a lot of these. Okay, so let's get the green ones. 15 battles. No Omicrons. And that's figures, right? Like, oh, ha ha ha, Egnards, you were foiled again because you didn't get Omicrons. And no. Let's actually talk about their drops, right? Because the purpose of this video is for people, for me, instead of having to break it down into long explanations every single time, is when I see that stuff happening, just being able to say, just watch this. I've put in the work, right? So here we go. Where is it? I did 15 battles. Before we look at it, let's actually change mine. 21, 15 is 39, right? 39, yes. I have 71,000 confirmed battles on Cantina for the purpose of determining the drop rate of Omicrons. 71,420 battles. In that time, we've seen 362 confirmed Omicron drops. And I want to stress here that when we do this Omicron drop rate report, we very specifically take care around double drops to make sure that we are not ruining the data. Okay, so If it is a double drop and 2 drop, we cut that in half to make sure that we keep everything exactly as it should be. It looks like right now we have an estimated drop rate of 0.51%. And that's like a much more fun number here, but we're going to round it up to 0.51%. I personally believe that CG likes to use easier numbers when it comes to drop rates. So I personally believe that that drop rate is probably 0.5. But our data says 0.51 right now. That means that it's going to take about 197 battles in order to see an Omicron. If you're not doing any refreshes on Cantina, you're just literally playing. You should see about 0.37 Omicrons per week, which means about 1 Omicron per month, right? If you are doing your refreshes on Cantina, you should see about 1.1 Omicron per week. Now, I know what we're thinking. We're like, Egnards, I have done all these battles and I just haven't gotten it to drop and it's been a week and that, so obviously CG is throttling me. No. These drop rates are on the lower side, right? I get that. But what that means is that you are going to see bigger swings. You might go 3 weeks without an Omicron. But then the next week you get 3 in 1 drop. I believe my personal biggest swing is about 5 weeks without an Omicron. And then I ended up getting like 6 over the course of 3 days. That's just how it works. But over time, you are going to see a pretty significant amount. Now, for my own data, if we're looking at just my numbers that I can personally account for, I have personally tracked 20,139 battles and seen 96 Omicron drops, which puts my personal, I don't want to say drop rate, I'm going to say appearance rate, at 209 battles per Omicron. I will say that I have stopped actively counting my numbers, and I stopped doing that around the time that Master Qui-Gon came to the game. So even though I've seen a confirmed 96 drops, that's probably somewhere more around 120 at this point, with obviously more battles to kind of go on top of that. And if we do the math and we say, well, Egnards, it's been 3 years since this came out, so you should have seen about 150 of these or so. You're right. But you know what? We've had some pesky things come to this game. Okay, so if we pull this game back up, we've had really annoying things, like Great Mothers. We've had really annoying things. Where is the other one? Where's the other Cantina? She's somewhere around here. We've had, like, Morgan, like Quercetan. I think Baby Cal is on here somewhere. We've had a bunch of Cantina farms come to the game, which meant that we had to slow down our Cantina drops for, periods of time. And that accounts for those drops that we feel like we should have had based on that 1 per week metric. So what I want you guys to do me a favor and basically just remember this. Okay, just remember this right here. And the next time you're on Discord and somebody not complains, because people complain about drop rates. I complain about drop rates. I went like 1 in 21 on Baby Cal once, and I complained. But the next time somebody says something like, well, Omicrons are a myth, and they never appear, and I've seen like 4, and I do 18 refreshes a day, just send them this. If you see it on Reddit, send them this. If you're one of the 20 old people on Star Wars Galaxy of Hero Facebook groups, which I didn't even know was a thing until maybe 3 months ago, send them this. Help me out. Again, there are very legitimate things that CG deserves our criticism for. And if you want to criticize the fact that the drop rate is low, that's fine. But let's cut the shit. Please. Thank you for coming to my Egnards talk. Peace out.